welcome to Silver Siren Tarot and Astrology. Today's video is a part of my Learn Tarot series, which is a playlist here on my channel if you want to check out my previous videos in this series. Today's video, we're actually going to dive into the cards, so if you'd like to learn the Major Arcana cards, then just keep on watching. Before I jump into the video, I wanted to say that I upload videos every Thursday and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I also plan to do bonus videos as I'm inspired, so make sure you're subscribed so you never miss one of my videos. And also, I am new to this YouTube channel and this sort of content on YouTube, but I am not new to social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So make sure you check out those pages for free tarot spreads that you can use, as well as astrology updates and the new moon and full moon cycles, and for information on the Wheel of the Year. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it. If you've watched my other videos in this series, then you know that the Major Arcana is what I started reading from first. You can, as a beginner, use only the Major Arcana cards initially to read for other people as you're learning. The Major Arcana archetypes are hugely important and they pack a lot of energy when you are learning. And I think that learning the Major Arcana cards first is a great way to divide up the deck so that it's not so daunting as you begin your journey. And speaking of journeys, this is going to take us right into the first card, which is 0, and it is known as the Fool. The Fool is taking a journey. He has his bag over his shoulder, he's lightly packed, and he has a flower in his hand, his chin is up, and he's ready to go. The sun is behind him, and you can see he's stepping out into like a new territory, the cliff. It's kind of like, be careful where you're going, watch where you're stepping, but at the same time, it gives this really spontaneous, light energy of moving forward and having a new beginning. The Fool is a really great card because it speaks to optimism, having a childlike attitude, the beginning of a new start. It's also a new phase of life, excitement, confidence that you're heading in the right direction and taking a risk. So you get the idea. The Fool is going to show up anytime you or a client is ready to start a new phase in life, and doing so with a lot of confidence and spontaneity. I think that the major takeaway with this card as far as caution goes is to just watch where you're stepping. But overall, the energy of this card is extremely positive and spontaneous, like I said. So this is a really good card to see in any reading. It's very indicative of a new chapter in life. If this card comes up as a significator of someone else in your life, it could indicate literally a child, since it's such an innocent vibration from this card. It could also mean innocent people, dreamers, and wanderers, as well as travelers. The second card is the Magician. The Magician is when we are mastering knowledge or a skill or a trade that we have. The Magician imbues a lot of energy that is immensely focused, and it's honing a craft. Like I said, just mastery, self-mastery. It quite literally means having like a transformative effect on yourself. Something of your life is changing and exerting a lot of willpower. I really like the Magician because it's a card that energy kind of says that someone is taking their fate into their own hands. They feel like they're creating their own destiny, they're manifesting their own dreams. So it's a very confident card. It's a very adaptable card as well. So it shows a lot of self-mastery, like I said, and it shows really being able to look inside yourself for the tools that you have to proceed to the next phase of life, using the skills that you have instead of focusing on skills of anyone else. And so there's no energy of any other people or comparing, and that is what I love about the Magician. It's this very, I don't even know if confident is the right word. It's just this self-knowledge, self-awareness, and self-mastery that we could all definitely use that energy from time to time. And we could all use, knowing what our potential is and seeing that in ourselves instead of asking why we're not good at X or Y, and really focusing on what we are good at and taking that to a level that we've never taken it before. If this card comes up as a significator of other people, it's quite literally a man who is very good at his craft. It has the energy of engineers, entrepreneurs, teachers, and quite literally magicians. And I don't mean like performance magicians. I mean like people who actually use alchemy and who actually use planetary magic, things like that. The next card is the High Priestess, and she is one of my absolute favorites. There's a lot of symbolism in this card. I'm going to be trying to be putting the picture of the card here as I'm talking so that you guys can see the cards as I'm going over their meanings. But she is all about our intuitive abilities, psychic abilities, and inner knowing, and everything synonymous with intuition. She also represents our subconscious, hidden issues, messages from our dreams, the occult wisdom. She's really a card of going deep, so this is not a superficial card at all. She shows where we don't really need to use words. Language isn't necessary. It's, like I said, that inner knowing and also like telepathic abilities. If you see her come up, it's a really good indicator that you intuitively know what's happening, even if you have to dig deep. And so if you see her come up in a reading and you're not really sure what she means, I would take the card and meditate on it. She is a card of meditation, so you might just want to sit with her for a while or a couple days, however long it takes. Sleep with her next to your bed or under your pillow, and the message will be revealed to you, possibly, very possibly through a dream. Or through symbols, because again, she is a archetype that doesn't use a lot of language. And then as far as who she would signify for other people, it's, psychics, mystics, sort of like the Luke Skywalker vibe, where they just are one with the force and the energy around them. It could also be just highly intuitive people, highly sensitive people, counselors, psychologists, things of that nature. The next card is the one I also really love, and it's the Empress. She is the mother archetype. She's also a card of healing. She is a card of harmony and growing. She shows material comfort, security, so all those warm, fuzzy things that we all like. And if you look at her, she's surrounded by a lot of green trees. Green is the heart chakra. It's also abundance. It's the color of money. It's the color of Venus. She has Venus's sigil right here. She's holding this yellow orb. Yellow is a color of happiness and joyfulness. She's a card of pregnancy, like I said, fertility, motherhood. She represents sexuality, sensuality, as well as, showing that she's willing to be there for other people, be a shoulder to lean on, that type of thing. So, judging from all the keywords, you can tell she's an extremely uplifting and positive, comforting, and secure card to receive. If you see her as a significator of other people, she's quite literally a mother figure, a wife, a comforter, a nurse. And then men, if you see her come up, she could quite literally be the woman of your dreams. She could indicate, because the birth is not just babies, it's also the birth of relationships, the birth of a new chapter in life, all of those things. But she quite literally does signify birth and abundance. I received her in several readings before I was pregnant, and then I would say within 6 to 9 months, I was pregnant after receiving her in readings from other tarot readers. Card number 4 is a stern one, and this is the Emperor. He is, quite literally like the father archetype. He kind of speaks to me on a Saturnian level. So Saturn, if you're familiar with astrology, like structure, control, power, having order, having limits. This is an energy that commands authority and respect and control. This is a card that imbues a lot of logic and wisdom, as well as stability and leadership, firmness. This card on a more grander scale could literally represent the government or government officials. So if you pull the Emperor, then you need to think about structure, order, where it needs to play into your life or the life of your client. It's a good time to look at maybe who you can lean on that is very stable, very rational, and to ask yourself how you can use their wisdom in your life. And then as far as significators, Emperor is literally father figures, people in power, authority figures, people who are direct and have a sense of control. So you get the idea. Number 5 has always been a little bit of a tricky card for me, and I think that's just because I haven't really pulled this card a ton for myself. I've seen it in some readings that I've done for clients, but it's just not a card that pops up for me, and it is the Hierophant. The Hierophant is, tradition, convention. It's very much like an official type energy, a ceremonial type energy. It's a very serious card. It can, kind of provoke like religious tones, structure within churches and religions. Also, kind of this idea of celibacy. It's a very conservative card. I think when you see this card come up, it's all about like asking us where our morals are. How are we developing on that level? Are we in alignment with our true beliefs? Are we following a good path, an honorable path? It's also, showing that you need to seek out someone with higher knowledge than you, like a priest or a professional who can help guide you with their more conservative wisdom or their more spiritual wisdom. And then as far as who this card can signify, it's literally teachers, religious people, clergy. It can also be, people who work in universities, like professors or people in academics. If you're familiar with astrology, then it's very much like a 9th house type card with higher spirituality and higher knowledge and wisdom associated with like universities. And then card number 6 is usually a fun one, and this is the Lovers. This card looks like it's Adam and Eve in the garden with the angel looking down on them. I like this card. It's not as romantic to me as a lot of people probably think that it is, because it's really just about, duality. It's a very like Gemini type card. It's very much showing like a new relationship, a newer type of union, kind of an innocent quality there. It's not really like committed relationships. It's more of like love affairs, and that type of thing. So whenever I've seen it come up, I don't really ever get the feeling that it's like a huge important relationship. Honestly, a lot of times it just shows needing to make a decision about your path in life, and if the people that are in your life, or especially romantically the person in your life, if that is the right person for you. It can be kind of a cautionary sign of really reflecting and looking at your relationship or a dynamic between you and another person before you make any major decisions. And then quite literally, it represents twins. It can represent lovers, a dilemma that you have. I wanted to get in more, but I feel like this is taking a little longer. So for the sake of keeping this video concise, I will continue with the next several cards in my next video, but I really appreciate you watching today. Let me know in the comments below which archetype you're drawn to. Like I said, I'm a really big fan of the Empress and the High Priestess. I'm so happy that you found this video. Thank you for sharing your journey of learning tarot with me and entrusting me to teach you. If you would subscribe, that would be amazing, and let me know that I'm creating content that you are enjoying. If you have any video requests, let me know in the comment below. I would love to touch on topics that you guys would like to hear concerning anything New Age, metaphysical, astrology, and tarot. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.